In this video, we're going to practice with the SUMPRODUCT function. The SUMPRODUCT function's name gives us a hint at what it does. It creates a sum of products. Product is what you get when you multiply two numbers together. So the SUMPRODUCT takes two or more inputs, and those inputs are ranges of numbers. What it does is multiplies the corresponding numbers, or the numbers at the same position in each of the ranges together, and then sums the results of all those multiplications. So here's one situation where you might want to use a SUMPRODUCT. Let's say you're doing some grade calculations, or any kind of a weighted average. So here we have the categories, midterm 1, midterm 2, and so on, and their weights. These weights add up to 100%. And here you have 3 students and their averages in each of those categories, and we want to multiply the averages by the weights and then add them all together to get their course grade. Now you could do this the long way, but you go here and you type equals this times this plus this times this. Well, that takes a long time and there's a lot of potential for error. So a better way to do this is with the SUMPRODUCT formula. Equals SUMPRODUCT, S-U-M-P-R-O-D-U-C-T, and then the first range of numbers, comma, the second range of numbers. And that's it. And it calculates the overall average for the first student. Now we can't just copy that over, because both of these ranges are relative references. So right now it's referring to the weight column and the student 1 average. If we just copy it over, in the student 2 column, it's going to be multiplying the student 1 average by the student 2 average. So anytime you're doing a SUMPRODUCT and you want to copy it over, you take the part of it that's fixed, which here is the weights, and make that an absolute reference by adding in the dollar signs. So if I do that, that reference will remain fixed. The second part of the reference will just point to the numbers in whatever column I'm entering the formula in. So now I can copy that over, and I have the averages for all 3 students. Since I made the C5, C9 an absolute reference, that part stays constant, and the second range changes as we copy the formula. So again, what it does is it multiplies the corresponding numbers and then adds up the results of all those multiplications. Here's another situation when you might want to do it. Let's say you're trying to figure out the resources you're going to use in production, and you produce 4 products. And you want to put up here how many of each you produce. Let's say 100 units of product A, 20 units of product B, 50 units of product C, and 400 units of product D. Down here, we have the resources used. So for example, product A for each unit uses 0.5 labor hours and 0 machine hours. Product B for each unit produced uses 1.2 labor hours and 1.5 machine hours. Product C for each unit produced uses 4 labor hours and 2 machine hours. So you can see that the total labor hours will just be units produced of A times 0.5 plus units produced of B times 1.2, and so on. So the easiest way to do that is with the SUMPRODUCT. My first range is going to be the units produced, and that's going to be the same for each row, so I want to use an absolute reference for that, and then comma, numbers on this row. That's my second range, and I've got the total labor hours used. Since I use an absolute reference for the units produced, I can copy that formula down, and it works correctly on this row too. The nice thing about this is you can try different combinations of units produced. What if we produce 200? I enter that number and then I see these totals change. A third example, you can see how sum product doesn't have to be just rows multiplied together. It can be whole areas. So for example here, if we have an order form, we're going to order some popcorn, Chex Mix, potato chips, pretzels in small, medium, and large sizes. Down here we have the prices. So once we fill out this form for how many of each size we want to order for each product, we want to calculate the total order cost. It's just going to be small popcorn units times small popcorn price, plus small Chex Mix units times small Chex Mix price, and so on, all the way through the order form. So let's go ahead and just put in some numbers here. Now blanks are treated as 0. And let's see, that's 5 of those, 3 of those, 4 of those, 5 of those, 1 of those. Now incidentally, blanks will be treated as zeros. Now to get my total order cost, I just use equals sum product. This is my first range, so I'm going to take all the numbers in that range, comma. Here's the second range. So we just multiply all the corresponding numbers and add up the products. And my total order cost is $100.75. And that's how you use the sum product function.